Hi everyone, Jesse here with etrailer. Today we'll be taking a look at and I'll show you how to install the Roadmaster Smart Diode Kit on our 2025 Chevrolet Trax. So there's 5 main components when you're looking to set up your vehicle for flat towing, starting with our base plate. That's going to be the structural point of the towed vehicle that will help connect it to the motorhome, and it connects through our second main component, which is our tow bar here. This is just the physical link between motorhome and towed vehicle. Then we have our braking system that's going to allow you to use the towed vehicle's brakes to help your motorhome come to a stop. And we have our safety cables. Those are here as a last resort in case of a catastrophic disconnect. These will help hold everything together so you can get pulled over safely. And our diode wiring, that's there to keep you safe and legal when you're towing your vehicle by allowing the motorhome to send a signal to the towed vehicle's taillights so other drivers can know when you're turning or stopping or even see you better at night. So the diode kit will come with your umbilical that will plug into the motorhome, then your 6-pole for the front, and you'll just run the wires from the front to the back, and the diodes will tie into your taillight wiring back here. You'll have to splice into your taillight signal and get that all hooked up. Here's a look at the front of our vehicle where our umbilical plugs into our 6-pole here. Again, that's really all there is to it. This is just something that's not super flashy, but you absolutely have to stay safe and legal out there on the road and allow other drivers to see your turn signals, your tail lights, and your brake lights. As for the installation, it does involve running wires from the front of the vehicle to the rear of the vehicle. So if it's not something that you're looking to do yourself, maybe you don't have the time, the space, or the tools to do so, feel free to check out our dealer locator. If you are looking to get this installed yourself, then follow along and I'll walk you through the process. Also, if you've installed the Smart Diode Kit before, you just want to share some tips or tricks with us, then please feel free to leave a review or a comment. So to begin our installation, we'll be running our wires. We know we're going to start at our 6-pole here, so I just fed it down behind the headlight and brought it out here. I left a little bit of slack and just taped it up. That'll be the last thing I do. But when we're in the engine bay, I always do this. I just leave a loop for excess in case you need to install a braking system and you need to tie into your 4-pole wiring. It'll be right there and ready for you. Then with our white wire, what I did was cut it off, kind of stripped it all off of the rest of our wiring. I attached a ring terminal to this end and used a factory ground. And then with my remaining 3 wires, I sent them back. That's going back through the wheel well, and then we went below the car. So we came out of the wheel well here, and I tucked it up above our subframe and just followed our fuel and brake lines from here. Main goal is to just stay away from anything hot or moving, so just make sure you're doing that. From there, I went around the fuel tank up above our rear subframe. I zip tied it off on this harness, and then at that point, what I did was I split my green wire. The green wire is going to get sent to our passenger side. The yellow and brown are going to go up to our driver's side. Next, we need to remove our tail lights. So there's 2 plastic covers that are hiding screws. Let's use a flathead and get in under it to pop those open. And there's 2 T15 Torx screws. And once we have those removed, you may be able to kind of wiggle it out. There's just some guide pins that are plastic holding it in. I'll have to use these plastic trim tools, kind of get in behind here, pry that out. And I'll also pry on the side here. You really got to be careful with this. You don't want to scratch the plastic. And you can also see I added tape just in case anything slips. I don't want to scratch that. But we should be able to pop that out and expose our wiring. So now you could remove all of the bulbs and set the tail light aside. I just grabbed a piece of foam and slipped it behind it so it can just rest here. But what I'll do next is cut some of this wire sheathing off so we can expose our wires. Next we'll need to test our wires. We're trying to find our tail light signal, which I already did. I just hooked a test light up to our red wire, and that is our tail light signal. So we'll be splicing into that, and we'll attach one of these spade terminals. That red wire on the car's end will go to car brake in, then the other end will plug into car brake out. RV tail will be our brown wire, which we will bring up in a second. RV brake is our yellow wire, and then our ground will be a white wire that I'll attach a ring terminal to. One thing worth mentioning is you'll notice you have some extra brown wire in your kit. That's because with our RV taillight signal, we'll have to link the left side to the right side on the towed vehicle. So what I did was I just stripped them back, and I'll twist them around each other. Your kit will have just a regular butt connector, but since this connection is going to be made outside the vehicle, I recommend a heat shrink butt connector to keep it sealed. But I'll just get these two wires tied together, and then I'll crimp the another piece of brown wire with a spade terminal onto the other end. So now for our ground wire, we have an included self-tapper. Just make sure you have enough slack to reach the diode. Any piece of metal on the body should be a good ground, so I'll just run that in. Over on the passenger side, it's the same concept. Our green wire is our right turn, so that went into RV brake. Then that brown wire that we sent over from the driver's side is RV tail. And the same color wire from the factory harness, it's red. We plug that into car brake in and the other end on car brake out, and grounded in about the same spot. I just loosely reinstalled our taillights because before I get everything buttoned up, I want to test. But we'll have to hook up our 6-pole to do that. So it's pretty simple. You just turn your 6-pole around, back out each of these screws, well, the 4 that we're going to be using. Just back them out. Don't take the screws all the way out. They're really small and you might lose them. But our white wire will go into GD. The brown wire will go into TM. That's for tail markers. The yellow wire will go to LT, and the green wire will go to RT. Just simply insert the wire into the correct post and tighten down that screw with your Phillips head screwdriver. Now we have our 6-pole hooked up to a tester, and we'll just run through the lights. First, we have our tail lights on right now, and left turn. Brake lights, and our right turn. Now that we've tested our lights, we know everything's working properly. We installed all of our other flat tow components, and that's going to do it for our look at and installation of the Roadmaster Smart Diode Kit on our 2025 Chevrolet Trax.